Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'm Chris Phillips of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show, guys. What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Big Tuesday here today. Shane Beamer speaking to the media. Also, our show dropping this morning with Alex McGrath, episode 491. Be sure you check that out. But appreciate you guys tuning in, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. I see Luke RJ, Travi, Justin Langford, Sean O'Brien, Brennan M., Tanner Land, Justin Langford. The whole crew is here. Phil, Doc Graybeard, everybody. What's going on? Also, if you are in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions to make sure your questions are answered there in the TDC Questions channel. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Apologize if I was a minute late there. So I've been playing beat the clock for whatever reason the last 2 days, just going crazy in the morning and tried to squeeze a workout in this morning at the gym. And I mean, I'm literally hitting go live. I'm sitting down and hitting it. It's just wild. Anyways, either way, appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Got a packed show. Like I said, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as we sit here now. ECU week, of course. Yesterday's show, a lot more focused on recapping what happened over the weekend, everything that happened in the Gamecocks' 46-0 season opening win. We can continue to talk about that if you like, but of course now I feel the conversation starting to shift a little more looking ahead to this weekend as South Carolina goes on the road for a pivotal, and I mean a pivotal, non-conference matchup against the East Carolina Pirates. Guys, before we really get going, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. You've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is. The last thing you should be worried about is dealing with paperwork, the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient and effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you guys. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368, or of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Again, guys, what's going on? 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. You see, ECU. It is ECU week. Very excited for that, guys. I can tell you what, I'm really, really looking forward to the game this weekend. I think the game this weekend, it's really starting to settle in. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun this weekend, guys, with just what's on the line. We're going to find out a lot. By the time we are talking this time next week, we are going to know a lot more about this football team this time next week than we know right now. As fun, again, as fun as Saturday was, being in Willie B, of course, meeting you all and being at the tailgate, as far as on the field, again, I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I just don't feel like I learned anything. I feel like I still have the same questions. I still have the same thoughts. Everything I already thought was reconfirmed about this football team on Saturday in regards to its strengths, its weaknesses, its most likely deficiencies, and what it's going to lean on. And see, here we get a text. We get a text here. How is it possible that this team is already more fundamentally sound than any team during the Muschamp era? That feels like an overreaction Monday type of text right there, guys. I mean, come on. It's one game, y'all. It is, and I'm not saying they're not. but it's one game. It is one game. It is one game. Because here's the thing. I'll tell you this. Here's the thing. Why is this game so pivotal this weekend? Why? And I'll tell you why. Because if the Gamecocks go out there and somehow lose, and I want to make a statement right now, guys. Again, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, just being honest. South Carolina can 110% lose this game. There's just no question. I think any South Carolina fan that feels like the Gamecocks are just going to go in there and dominate ECU, I think that's the wrong attitude to have, man. I don't think South Carolina is to that point yet where we can at least believe and have any reason to believe that South Carolina is going to go on the road and dominate an opponent, even like an East Carolina. Maybe it's just me. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll go win by 21 plus, and I look like an idiot, and we can all celebrate and everything. But you guys, if you've been listening all preseason, you know how I feel about this game. You know that I've been preparing myself all preseason long for an absolute fight. And then Brian Dean says, Chris, the energy they played with, I haven't seen since 2013. I mean, again, overreaction Monday type of take. I hear you, Brian. I'm not trying to, what you saw is what you saw, and what I saw is what I saw. And yes, we played with great energy, but that is such that's such a overreaction take to one game. I mean, we played with great energy. We also whooped their ass. I mean, did we not play with great energy when we beat Charleston Southern 72-10 in 2019? I'm not trying to defend the previous regime, but I'm just not trying to overreact to a 46-0 win against an EIU team that might be like the worst team in football. Like, it's just, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? So, again, I'm not trying to kill your hopes and dreams and aspirations here on a Tuesday, but I just let's keep it all in perspective. We did what we should have done. Great, good job. Now you move into this next challenge. Phil in the TDC Questions channel of the Big Cock Club Discord says daily weather for New Hampshire, 73 degrees and sunny. He also says life certainties, death, taxes, and Carolina fans overreacting. Yeah. Carolina fan. I mean, look, like I said, we all feel great right now. It's great to feel great. It feels good to be good, right? It feels good to be good at least for a week. But, and Brian Dean says, had Muschamp coached this team, we would have won 24-10. Guys, I don't like Muschamp. Obviously, you guys know how I felt about Muschamp. That's just so very easy to say. I mean, again, we did beat CSU 72-10 when he was here. I'm just pointing out facts. I'm not defending, whatever. Not disagreeing with you. I'm just pointing out facts. Anyways, did what we should have done. Now it's on to East Carolina. The official depth chart has officially dropped. Nothing crazy. Nothing really even notable except that the starting quarterback position is Zeb Noland or Luke Doty, which is not surprising at all. Let's see. SEC's releasing their players of the week, and I doubt we have anyone. I highly doubt we have anyone. Let's see. Who are the SEC players of the week? Bryce Young offensively, Chris Smith from Georgia defensively, Bama, Georgia, Florida, A&M, Kentucky. Hey, Debo Williams, freshman of the week. I'll be darned. I am wrong. How about that? Debo Williams gets freshman of the week. Blocked a pair of punts. There we go. How about it? How about Debo Williams getting freshman of the week? Good on you, Debo. Good on you, Debo. We got to put up a post for that. We got to get this graphic made. Quan White for Heisman. Tim Woodward says, pleased with receivers. Heck, don't even believe Jenkins caught a pass. Should be a good target. I'm glad you're pleased with the receivers. I still have major, major question marks. And I actually saw somebody comment on YouTube this morning about my thoughts on the receivers and telling me how crazy I was. And, you can't tell anything from the first game and this, that, whatever. What did you see from the receivers? And again, like I said, just drawing conclusions from the EIU game. I wouldn't recommend it. I'll just put it that way. I would not recommend it. So would not recommend it, guys. Would not recommend it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. We got to get this graphic made. Debo Williams named freshman of the week. How about that? A pair of block punts. Very, very good. He did have a hell of a game. I mean, hell, you block a pair of punts in a game. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I think I just saw somebody say the East Carolina game is now a pick'em. Let's pull up the Circa site real quick. Yeah, that game is actually slid to a pick'em. You are correct. So South Carolina ECU, which started as Gamecocks as a 2-point favorite, now sits and then slid to ECU -4, now sits as a pick'em. So obviously money coming in on South Carolina in that football game. Let's jump to the phone lines real quick. Zachary, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I'm just happy. I just want to say I'm really good. I'm really happy with how the team looked on Saturday. You did what you're supposed to do. I agree with your points about the wide receivers. I didn't see anything. I'm not going to be too negative because it is first game, and I don't think that they got to show a lot because, you don't want to throw a kitchen sink at them. But, there's still some room to be concerned.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I guess the scary thing is this, man. Like when did South Carolina let off the gas pedal a little bit? Sure. If you want to say that, that's fine. But in a game against EIU, when your leading receivers are running back, I mean, again, I'm not drawing conclusions saying our receivers are just going to be terrible because of one game and again a game against EIU. That's just a little concerning to me, though. And that's it's like I understand we didn't throw the kitchen sink, but it's like, man, like if you can't hit the deep shot against EIU or really stretch the field, I mean, I didn't really see at any point that we really stretched it. Again, I will say on a positive, Josh Vann, I loved seeing what I saw from Josh Vann. He really flashed in that first half, and the touchdown catches and stuff. So, I mean, I think he definitely emerged early as the leader in the clubhouse to be your top option on the outside. But I mean, again, I don't think it's a very bold take to say that like top to bottom, like we don't have some deep wide receiver core. If we have Van and maybe Amarian Brown and maybe one other guy emerge as dependable options, that to me would be a successful year for the receivers. We're just not going to be. I mean, I think it's safe to say this is not going to be a unit that we go 4, 5, 6 deep. I just don't see it. I mean, you saw a lot of issues you saw from last year with drop passes. And, I mean, if you can't make plays against EIU, what on God's green earth makes you think you can make plays against Georgia, Kentucky, Auburn, Mizzou? Because that's what it really is. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but if you can't make plays against EIU, you're not going to make plays against Georgia. Bottom line. You're just not. So, I know we all want to have faith and hold out hope, and that's fine. That's great. And I like Josh Vann. I mean, dude, I think he's got all the upside and the potential in the world, but for example, and I hate to single the guy out, but call it for what it is, fans around me at the game Saturday were getting so upset with like, God, Dak Joyner, what's going on? I'm like, guys, well, here's what's really going on. He's a quarterback playing receiver. He's not a receiver. Like, I know we all want to believe but he's not a receiver. That's the reality. It's just the reality of the position, though. You're trying to put guys out there that, Dak's got athleticism, he's got speed, he's got talent, but is he some polished receiver that's going to get drafted and go play receiver at the next level? Probably not. So you got to work with what you got. And again, we'll see how good of a job Justin Stepp can do. And I mean, I think Josh Vann, like I said, emerging early in that first game. Again, it is the first game. You can't draw conclusions one way or the other. That was a great sign, though. Just seeing Josh Vann making plays, I mean, it was a welcome sight to see. But, again, I'll just put it to you this way. Am I saying you should be drawing conclusions after week 1 saying the wide receivers are terrible? No. But going into the season, I felt like they were going to be a deficiency. I saw nothing from Saturday that would have changed my mind on that. So, hey, got a great opportunity this weekend. ECU doesn't feature some elite secondary, so we'll see if they can make plays. We'll see if they can stretch the field. We'll see what they can do. But I'm still just kind of in show me mode when it comes to receivers. My expectations aren't crazy through the roof or anything with those guys. So.
Yeah, I also was wondering your thoughts on the defense. I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it definitely looked different from last year. Like, the tackling was much better. Everyone was like, it really did feel like everyone was just flying to the ball. It just, I actually saw a difference between last year to this year in just one game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the defense played very well. I mean, you tip your cap to them, give them credit no matter who the opponent. Like you said, I think fundamentally you didn't see a lot of missed tackles, and that's just something that's killed this unit over the last couple of years. So, again, taking it with a grain of salt because of the opponent. I mean, EIU by far the worst offense you're going to see all season long. There's no – hey, you'll get a much stiffer challenge this weekend. I mean, the thing that stood out to me, though, is, again, did I really learn much of anything new from Saturday? Not really. But Saturday reconfirmed a lot of the things that I already thought, and we all expected the defensive line to be really, really good. And I think we all feel leaving that game that, hey, I don't know that we have the best D-line in the SEC or even a top 3 or 4, but we've got some real freakish athletes up front. Like, there's no question. There's just no question. We've recruited very well on the defensive line. So, again, secondary still has questions to answer. Linebackers will still have questions to answer. I feel like the defensive line is going to be the known commodity. Like I said, man, great win. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. I mean, anytime you pitch a shutout too, you've most certainly got to tip your cap to those guys. I mean, that's something you shouldn't take for granted, pitching a shutout. First time we've done it since 2008. And you think about the great defenses we had from 2011 to 13, they didn't pitch a shutout. So pretty impressive. I thought they had a great game plan. I loved the aggressive nature on defense and the attacking nature. And again, you knew that it was a putrid FCS opponent. You knew that you had them overmatched, and you took advantage. You didn't sit back and try to see. No, you didn't try to steal out the game. I like how we just attacked all night. So again, going to be a much stiffer test this weekend. I know we all feel good and we're warm and fuzzy inside right now, but at least I come away with the defensive line should be something we can lean on week after week after week. And again, I guess that's kind of what we expected, though. And it was good to see the major thing, offense, defense, special teams, no matter what, man, because we can just dissect it all we want. But the major takeaway from the game is the biggest positive that came out of it was a lot of guys made plays. And a lot of guys who maybe in the past hadn't made plays. So now you ride into ECU with some confidence. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Josh Vann, it doesn't matter who the opponent was. At least now he has confidence. Jalen Foster has confidence. Yeah. Debo Williams has – like a lot of these guys that maybe, again, even a guy like Jordan Birch, guys that, last year, the previous couple years, they've just kind of been there. They really haven't been playmakers, or the plays they've made have been few and far in between. It's like they got to experience and feel what it's like to make a big play. Again, the opponent really doesn't matter in that regard. It's like what comes first, having success or having confidence, and you get both in that first game. That's huge going in this week 2 matchup on the road, because inevitably on the road, you are going to run into adversity. So, at least believing in yourself and having the confidence of okay, I've done this before in an actual game setting, not a scrimmage, not a practice. I think that's the biggest positive to take away from the game, and we'll just see if they can carry it over into the weekend.
All right, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in. You too. Good stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. Debo Williams, in case you missed it, SEC Freshman of the Week, 2 blocked punts. Freshman of the Week in the SEC. Really good stuff. Great stuff. We're trying to get this graphic made. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls out. Let me get back to the comments real quick. A lot of comments rolling in here on a Tuesday. Great Bisbee. Beamer saw no need to stretch the field. Do you really think Beamer's opening the playbook against EIU? I mean, not necessarily. I would have liked to still seen him take a shot for sure. We'll see. I mean, either way, whether they wanted to open the playbook or not, I saw nothing on Saturday, like when it comes to receivers, that I'm going to leave the game and say, oh, man, our receivers are a lot better than I expected. Like, there was nothing that stood out in that way where you would believe that. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We will be tuning in to Shane Beamer's press conference at 1:15. Shane Beamer speaking to the media 1:15 this afternoon, certainly to update everything with Gamecocks football and ahead of this weekend's game at East Carolina. So 1:15 when Shane Beamer will speak. Mark Sharp, good seeing you at Jay's Corner as well, my friend. Appreciate you. Lance Player, what's going on? So many questions. Chung Boys, is Jaheim Bell a tight end? I think he's a hybrid player. He's an H-back. Yeah, I think he can kind of do it all. So, yeah, I think he's a tight end. But, Tanner Land, if we don't win this weekend, you can probably kiss a bowl game goodbye. Yeah, and that's – I know you guys have gotten really sick and tired, I'm sure, of hearing me say it all preseason long, but I'm going to continue to reiterate it as we get closer and closer to the game, and Alex McGrath and I talked about it. This game is massively important. I mean, you can twist and turn it any way you like, and certainly I'm not calling Game 2 of the Shane Beamer era a must-win, but yes, as Tanner said, to get to a bowl game, for the prospects of the 2021 season, you got to have this one. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines. Doc, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Chris, what's happening, brother?
I'm just hanging out, man. Appreciate you calling in. What's up?
Yeah, it's a great weekend when we get a W and Clemson gets an L and they get destroyed.
Yeah, that was fun.
But you watch that game, man. They got dominated, which is a little worrisome because we got to play Georgia soon. But I just wanted to make a couple quick points. We still dropped far too many passes. And a lot of them were uncontested. That's on the receivers, right? I mean, that's your craft. You should work at it every day. And uncontested balls that hit you in the hand, there's just no excuse for dropping those. The long bombs that are contested, okay, those are 50-50 balls. But those balls that are 8-10 yards from the line of scrimmage that we drop, that's not good. Yeah. And I'm still a little worried about our pass pro because as overmatched as they still were able to put some heat on our guys. Not a lot, but more than I was expecting.
The offensive line was definitely not as dominant as I expected. And I don't know if my expectations were a little too high, but I really thought we were going to bully EIU all night. And we ran for 254 yards, but man, it felt like we earned every damn one of them. So,
well, give credit to EIU a little bit. I mean, their only hope to stop our running backs would be to send the linebackers every play, and that's what they did. I mean, they were sending more people than we could block. So, I mean, some of that was just their scheme. Some of it was our guys just looked a tad bit slow, to be honest, getting up in the pass pro. And we're really going to see this weekend if that's true, or maybe they were just not quite as focused as they should have been. I don't know what was going on there, but
right.
This weekend will certainly tell. And then the week in Athens, if they don't play their best game of the year, our quarterbacks are going to be running for their life.
Yeah, I mean,
that pass rush from Georgia is for real.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you really want me to be honest, I don't know that we hit double digits in points right now. I mean, you tell me how Carolina's going to score 14 or more against Georgia at this point, right now, today. I mean, I'm just saying it's going to be very hard.
The only way that happens is the defense and special teams score.
Right. It's just going to be very tough. I mean, that's not, it's going to be very, very tough. Yeah, I mean,
you called it, man. Georgia's a playoff contender and probably a national championship contender if they can get over the Alabama hurdle. I mean, none of Saban's disciples has ever beat him.
Yeah,
but Kirby might be the guy to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, back to the Carolina side of things, though, man. My biggest thing is this, and like I said, I'm elated how the season started. That's the perfect start. The Shane Beamer era did everything we're supposed to do, but as much as I hate to say this, I look at Saturday damn near like I looked at the spring game. Like I'm not taking anything away from it, drawing any conclusions. It was great to finally see us in action under Shane Beamer, what game day looks like under a Beamer coach team and all that stuff. But, as you know, man, college football is a week-to-week game. So all the same people right now who are who are warm and fuzzy inside and telling me how stupid I am for doubting the receivers or saying this is going to be a close game. If Carolina loses, those will be the same people saying that the sky is falling and we made the wrong hire. I mean, that's truth. That's what's going to happen. And that's fair or unfair. That's another reason why this game is so big, is because, and this is a game South Carolina can lose. I just want to make that it is. It's not a pick 'em for no reason. It just is. South Carolina should win. No doubt. They should win. We have the better athletes. We've recruited better. South Carolina should win. What I fear, you need to win this game, because if you lose it, all those positive energy and positive vibes and honeymoon phase, the honeymoon phase will be over. I can promise you. The honeymoon phase will be over. And the reality will set in very, very quickly for all those involved. So I'm just saying, just take care of your business. I've never insinuated that this is a game South Carolina should lose, but maybe I'm just scarred from the previous regime, because I remember not too long ago being convinced that there was no way South Carolina was going to lose to Appalachian State at home. I was like, there's no way. And I had egg on my face. So I'm not doing that again. I'm not coming in this game with the foolish thought that we're going to win by double digits and we're just going to cakewalk through. If we do, great. But I think to have those expectations, I think you're setting yourself up for a little bit of heartache. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you make very good points, Chris. But the thing we got to keep in mind too, a lot of those games that we quote unquote should have won, Muschamp, poor game management.
No doubt.
Usually
No doubt.
Big role in us losing those games. I mean, his clock management at times was just atrocious. And it cost us a couple of games, there's no doubt. The North Carolina game, especially, a couple of years ago when Bentley got hurt. I mean, not calling a timeout when our defense was giving up all those big plays and getting your shit together. I mean, you can't take it with you. And they gave up 2 100-yard drives, and then we lost the game.
Yeah.
And he never bothered to, give our guys a breather or get them to the sideline and get some adjustments. I don't want to go into all that.
Right.
But the thing is, you're right. We could very easily lose, not easily, but we could lose to ECU. But I don't think we're going to lose any of these games that we should win because of coaching now. Okay, right? I think Beamer has got a staff together, small sample size, of course. But I don't see that being a weakness that it once was.
Right. Yeah, you'd certainly like to think so.
I don't think we'll get out coached by ECU, but Tom's only going to tell about some of these things, and that's one of them. I thought he did a good job of managing the game, but there really wasn't any challenges thrown at him either. So you
will hit adversity this weekend. There's no question. You will hit it, and certainly if you don't hit it this weekend, you will most certainly hit it the following weekend. So, I mean, I'm not doubting Shane Beamer or doubting this football team going in the game, but on the road, it's just make sure you take care of your business. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if ECU punches Carolina early, and it's like you're going to have to be able to respond the right way on the road, keep your composure. This is still, I don't know if it's a young team, but it's still a very inexperienced team in regards to you're depending on a lot of guys that haven't made plays in a game like this. So as long as you can respond the right way, not turn the football over, again, it sounds like very simple stuff, but as long as you can do those things, I feel pretty good about your chances. But wacky things can happen on the road. They just can, especially this early in the season. You're still kind of figuring things out. So I'm just saying, I think it'd be wise for Carolina fans to prepare for this weekend to be a little bit of a fight. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah, I suspect that it will be. And, there's a reason why Vegas gives the home team 3 points right off the bat.
Right.
Even a bad team will get 3 points right off the bat. It's just hard to take your team into an opponent's environment and be as sharp as you are at home. Everything's new. None of these kids have ever been to this stadium, the Carter Finley Stadium. Not Carter Finley, but Greenville Stadium. It's going to be a new experience for all of them. That can throw them off the game a little bit. So I'm not saying we have to play perfectly. And kind of, in a way, I hope that we don't, because I'd like to see a mistake made that we have to recover from, because that's going to tell us a lot about the psyche of the team.
Well, I think whether you want to see it or not, it'll happen. Yeah, I think whether you want to see it or not, I mean, it's football, it's sports. It's not going to be a perfect game. I mean, even in games where teams blow teams out, you make mistakes. And hell, we made mistakes against EIU. We dropped the football. We didn't block well at times. There were mistakes made. I mean, they're going to have to overcome it for sure. Right, right.
Whether it's a muscle punt or a pick six, I just want to see the team say, okay, put that behind us, go forward. Because our previous squads would just tailspin at that point.
Yeah.
And so hopefully Beamer's got that corrected, but until we see a mistake made that costs us points, we won't know that either.
For sure. Doc,
but
great.
Anyway,
yeah.
Thanks, Chris. It's a great weekend. I love the game. It was beautiful to watch them dominate somebody, even as a little opponent as they were. And like I said, Clemson got dominated. So that makes a great Saturday.
Hey, it feels good to be 1-0. Not everybody can say that, right?
Exactly right, my man. Well, you take care, brother.
Appreciate you, Doc. Thanks so much, man. Go Cox. Good stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls. How do you feel? Am I being too harsh? What do you guys think about the ECU game this weekend? I believe it was Mark Regal said I had no clue what I was talking about. We're going to smoke ECU, and they're no good. Going to drag them, he says. Stop worrying, he says. You tell me. 843-790-3377. We'll jump back to the phone lines here real quick, guys, and we'll probably take a quick 5-minute break. Skyland, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
What's going on? Not much.
Oh, man. Did you see the depth chart released for ECU?
I did see the depth chart.
All right. Well, if I had a thought on Saturday, to be honest, I couldn't take nothing from the game Saturday. To be honest, you did what you were supposed to do versus a team like EIU.
Right. Which, by the way, I want to point out, saying that is not taking anything away from the football team. You did. That's credit to everyone involved. Credit to Shane Beamer, the entire staff, the players for showing up and approaching the game the right way and busting their ass and not taking it for granted. We haven't always done that, so a major kudos to them. Major kudos. I want to say that right now.
Remember a few years ago, it was like, well, can Muschamp show up and do what they're supposed to do? And he never did. Right.
So let's make sure when I say that, I'm major credit goes to everyone involved for sure. But I said it last week at this time, and I'll say it this week. I don't care if you would have beaten EIU 100-0. It doesn't mean you're going to go win 9 or 10 games. It just doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It doesn't.
As far as concerns, there's no concerns to me on the offensive side of the ball. I'm just confused. Like, with the play calling watered down a little bit, maybe so. I feel like if this was your offense, that Satterfield said that he was going to open the playbook, then I feel like you're in trouble. I feel like if this is the offense you're going to run all year, you have to be more explosive. And another thing is the offensive line have to get better because, to be honest, to me, they got bullied Saturday night. They've got no running lanes. They open no holes. They got no penetration. And wide receivers got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the defensive side, I was hella impressed with the DBs. Defensive line, the linebackers, no complaints.
I mean, listen, Skyland, there are plenty of shows that I'm sure you can tune into that will tell you how great we are and just tell you that this is why this happening against EIU is why we're gonna win 10 games this year now, or we're that much better. I mean, in a game like EIU, you sort of have to nitpick a little bit. You just do, So if you want to go to another show and have somebody tell you why Carolina's going to go win 9 or 10 games and they're a sleeper for the SEC East this year because they beat EIU 46-0, then you can do that. But this one ain't it. I mean, it just ain't, bro. It just ain't. Because what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that, and again, I've never insinuated South Carolina should lose to ECU. They shouldn't. But I think you got some fans that even if Carolina wins, but they win by a field goal or they win by 6, you're going to have some people that are freaking out because they thought Carolina should have beat ECU by 21 points. And it's just like, dude, have you not listened to a word we've said all preseason? This is until I'm proven otherwise, I expect it to be a tough game. Here's hoping we win 42-0. I mean, you think I don't want that to happen? Of course I do. But, there's still a lot to prove. There's still a lot to prove. Hey, another key takeaway somebody said, nobody got hurt. That's definitely a positive. So, yeah, I mean, it's, we'll see. I mean, people were shocked at what the Vegas line was. And, I mean, dude, I think when you look at the factors of, I mean, quarterback's a huge question mark. We don't even know who's going to play. Offensive line was okay against EIU, but the level of competition rises significantly. Secondary still has question marks. Again, they played EIU, who's nothing. You're on the road. ECU has played you tough historically either way. Mike Houston beat you at Citadel. So there are factors that, and again, Vegas doesn't have bias. Their bias is money. They don't care about being a Gamecock fan or a Pirate fan. So, again, I think if South kind of executes, and I'll get my prediction and stuff and more full breakdown later in the week, but if you execute, you should win. Bottom line. But weird things can happen on the road, noon kickoff. It'll be a rowdy atmosphere. This is going to be like their Super Bowl. They're going to give you their best shot.
Exactly.
They're going to give you their best shot. There's no question. So,
and I want our fans to realize when we go to Georgia at 7 o'clock, don't expect much from the Gamecocks. Just don't. I'm not saying we're going to go down there and lay an egg, but we just don't got the talent they got.
Yeah, we can worry about Georgia next week. we need to worry about ECU this week. So,
yeah, I just want to see some improvement on the offensive line. I was not impressed with the O-line.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. I think the O-line will improve because we have the bodies there. It's not like we're lacking the players. We've all those guys up front have played good football. So, listen, I don't know what it was. I don't pretend to be an expert talking offensive line. Unless you play the position, it's extremely hard to break it down. But we all know and saw from Saturday that, it wasn't quite the dominant performance I would have liked to have seen, which it's game one, totally fine. They've got to make an improvement. Your team, if you talk to any coach, teams make their biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. So I think we will be okay on the offensive line. I will be shocked if run blocking is an issue this year because, again, it's an offensive line that paved the way for Kevin Harris last year. So I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. I think they'll get better, but they have to. They have to. Because I'm sorry, man, but right now I still say if we are put in a position where we have to throw the ball, we're going to be in some hurt. We just are. Bottom line. So, we'll see. It's going to be a fun game. I honestly am very much looking forward to it because I'm expecting a great game. I'm expecting a great game on Saturday.
And I want to talk some offensive line. Like I said, was it the play calling watered down, or was it just if it was watered down? And that's what you're going to take that offensive line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Oh yeah.
So I want. I'll get in touch with you throughout the week.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, it's going to be a fun week, man. We'll get more into the gambling side of it tomorrow's podcast, but of course Thursday, Friday, the drill. We'll really dive into this ECU team, and I'm actually going on a pair of ECU podcasts on Thursday night, so I'll be talking to those guys, and I know they're fired up for the game, and it's going to be a very fun game. There's no doubt. I'm very much so looking forward to it. So.
All right, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going back to work.
All right, man. Sounds good, Skyland. Appreciate it. Take care. Go Cox. 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. We are going to take a 5-minute break, guys. Again, the comments, the questions are rolling in. We are tuning in to Shane Beamer's presser at 1:15. So I want to go ahead and get this 5-minute break in here really, really quickly. But again, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. Again, guys, we are rolling here on a Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. We'll be right back. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. The comments and questions are rolling in here on a Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021, guys. Real quick, just a reminder, episode 491 did drop this morning. Alex McGrath and I breaking down everything from the weekend as the Gamecocks took down EIU 46-0. And, of course, we talked about this weekend's game coming up against ECU. Phone lines are ringing off the hook, folks. Let's jump back to the phone lines. We got another call. Dalton, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, buddy? We got a good win on Saturday.
We did.
What I like to see.
We did.
So I just wanted to call and sort of get your take on the coaching decisions. It seemed to me from watching the EIU game that a lot of the coaching decisions for the Beamer staff were more aggressive, and it's what we need to be doing rather than what we were doing with Muschamp and sort of playing it safe, trying to keep the score close. What do you think about that?
I mean, I thought.
Sort of what did you see?
I thought we were very aggressive. I mean, I thought the coaching A+ from the coaching all around. I mean, I thought we attacked. We were on the aggressive early. I mean, again, the game was in control from the opening snap, and a lot of that had to do with our obvious, supreme talent compared to theirs. But we put that talent in really, really good position as well. So no, I definitely credit Shane Beamer, Clayton White, Marcus Satterfield. I mean, that entire staff. I mean, I thought I was more so impressed with. I mean, the game plan was good, but we looked ready to play. Because that was one of my biggest things was just controlling the emotions. I mean, it's an opening game, new era. We felt the energy at the tailgate, but when you're on the field, like, be even keel, play with emotion, but control that emotion and play your game and go do what you're supposed to do. And we did that. I thought we were ready to play. So, but yeah, I mean, I definitely thought, we were the aggressor. And I'll say that, it's much easier to be the aggressor when you just know you have the supreme talent and we sort of could just do whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, definitely, like I said, don't take anything away from it. Tip your cap to Beamer and that entire staff. I thought it was a very well-coached game for sure. No question.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a very good thing that we played our first shutout since, 2008, I think.
Yeah, 2008. NC State, the season opener, 2008, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's definitely good. I don't know how much stock we should be putting into the defense, but I would say, like, EIU, they're obviously a much less talented team, but they didn't get a first down the entire game pretty much. So, if your defense can roll out there and do, something similar to that and try and execute a game plan similar to what we did against EIU, but against a more talented team, I think we'll be definitely putting ourselves in a position to win more games than we have been winning.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know about the secondary. I think our pass rush is incredibly good, but I still don't know about the secondary because, most of the receivers that our defensive backs were covering were obviously not, 5 stars or what other, Power 5 programs have.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it was a great win. You checked off every box and accomplished everything you need to do. Coming out of that game healthy and confident, I think those are the top 2 priorities. But yeah, I mean, I think the question marks that existed before that game, I think they still exist, right? I mean, they have to. Again, you're not going to come out of a game like that and say, oh, we learned that. I mean, how much did you learn, man? Come on, really? I mean, this will be we'll have a much better idea this time next week about what we have as a football team and kind of where we are. And, if you take care of business against East Carolina, then all of a sudden, because I don't label Georgia as the measuring stick game. I label Kentucky as the measuring stick game because you're obviously not on Georgia's level. You're just not. You're not. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. You're not. Now, the Kentucky game, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but we can because we're fans. The Kentucky game will give you the much better understanding of where are we in regards to, being to where Georgia is versus to being more so bottom of the East. Like, where do we fall in regard when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So, but this weekend certainly is going to be a great early indicator, and it's going to be a test for this football team. And going on the road, somebody texted me earlier, what is it about ECU? And I'll get into that more in just a second. But, you're going to have to play good football to win, bottom line. So, I think the question marks that we had in preseason, I think they still do exist right now, man, until we see a little bit more against some better competition. I definitely agree with you. I think still wide receiver and secondary, I think, are still major question marks. I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid because our secondary shut down some FCS, guys that maybe shouldn't even be playing college football. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, they shouldn't have been on that field with us. They really didn't. They didn't belong on that field with us, I should say. So we'll see what happens. That doesn't mean we don't have good players, and it was great to see them make plays and build confidence, and now let's see it carry over into ECU. So I'll tell you this.
Yeah,
thank God we play ECU week 2 and not Georgia, because I think it is a step up in competition, but it's not like an extreme, like, EIU and Georgia couldn't be more polar opposites. I mean, at least this week it's a gradual step up. It's not like a, you know what I'm saying? You're not stepping into conference play. So I think it actually sets up pretty well for South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't expect that we're going to go into Athens and, beat the brakes off Georgia or anything. ECU, I think that's definitely put into their offense at this point, just because both offenses in that game on Saturday night looked, complete garbage. So, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm excited going into ECU, and I'm hopeful to come out with a W on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game, man. Like I said, it's a game that I think South Carolina fans. I am not telling anybody you should not go in expecting to win that football game. I'm just saying I think it would be wise to go in expecting it's and realize like the task at hand is going to be a tough road game. And hey, as long as we do our thing, we should win the football game. Bottom line.
All right, man. Well, thank you for having me on the show today, and you keep up the great work.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
And bye.
All right. We're going to jump to another call already, guys. Ringing off the hook. Parrish, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you calling in. What's going on?
All right, man. So I just got this feeling. If we can go into the ECU game how we went in last week with the same intention, just more of a different game plan, but more aggressive. In my opinion, I feel like if we can put up 40 points against ECU and hold them to about 21, I feel very confident going to Georgia. Like, to me, from the game I see how Georgia played Clemson, they're not that good this year. Right? To me, I think Georgia's still that. I think Georgia, to me, this is just my opinion, just from watching them play Clemson. I feel like Georgia don't have an offense. Like, the running backs, they look that good. J.T. Daniels, to me, don't look that good. With our strong D-line, I feel like we can hold Georgia. It's just up to us to be able to put the points on Georgia. But I feel like if we can put the points on ECU, our confidence be rolling. Once we go to Georgia, I feel like we'll be hungry. We're going to smell blood, and we don't want it more. That's just how I see it. So I feel confident going to Georgia if we can do good this weekend.
Parrish, I love your optimism. I'll tell you this. I will tell you this to your point. And I mean, hey, I would love to see this Carolina offense put up 40 points this weekend. I would be so happy about that. But either way, South Carolina wins. I don't care if they put up 40 or they put up 4 and they win. I will tell you this. The beauty is this. That if you go into Georgia 2-0, the beauty is that those guys are 18 to 22-year-old kids. So they lack enough self-awareness to not know that they're not supposed to win. So you never know what can happen. You've obviously got to beat ECU. But, yeah, if you can do that and you can win and you can do some really great things and you can score some points like you mentioned, come out of it with confidence, Georgia's certainly going to be 2-0. They play UAB this weekend, so they're certainly going to be 2-0. But you never know. Again, our guys don't know they're not supposed to win necessarily. So you never know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I love the optimism, though. We'll see. I think you'd be wise. You got to take care of business this weekend first. That's all I'm saying. Take care of business this weekend. Then we can spend all week next week worrying about trying to take down the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, because people told me 2 years ago I was crazy when we beat them with that field goal. And if you pay attention then, Georgia had that same style of offense. They couldn't put up points, but they had good defense. And then we beat them.
Let me ask you this. Just to play devil's advocate. Do you think we beat Georgia that day, or did they hand us the game?
I think we beat them because our defensive presence.
I think it was a mix of both. I think if you really want to look ahead, I think to beat Georgia in 2 weeks, yes, you're going to have to play your A+ game, and you're going to have to pray to God that JT Daniels turns into not Aaron Murray, Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm. And he's going to have to throw 3 picks to somebody. We're going to have to get a pick 6. Like I hear you. Like I said, I hear you, and I know Gamecock fans. And next week we'll be clinging to that 2019 game as to why we have a chance. But you cannot bank on pulling you're probably going to be a 24.5 point underdog at minimum. So, like I said, crazier things have happened. We saw it in 2019, but South Carolina will have to play their best game of the season, and Georgia will have to have an off night for Carolina to win.
I mean, it's college football, so you never know.
Hey, look at this past weekend. Look at all the upsets this past weekend. You're right. You never know.
Yeah, it just all depends on the attitude of the team. I just don't want the team to feel scared because I don't know where this narrative came from of everybody supposed to be scared of Georgia. They ain't proved nothing really. With the type of roster that Kirby Smart has. If you give Dan Mullen that same roster, he going like he winning the Natty. You know what I mean? So I want us to look at it like that. Like just because everybody say we're supposed to lose, like we coming here to win. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Shane Beamer bringing to the table. Like, look, guys, we know that like we are this underdog and we are this team that they say we're supposed to lose. But if you come with this type of aggression, ain't no telling what it happens. You know what I'm saying? And I think with the style of offense that we got now too,
right? And I would say this, Parrish, to your point. I think what fans, and I'm not saying you don't realize this, but I've seen some of this before, because people comment on my commentary and think that I'm being negative to say like even that ECU will be a battle or that, it's a long shot we take down Georgia. Listen, the way they think in the building is not the way that we talk or I talk is what I do. So they should believe in the building we're going to win every game. If they don't, there's something wrong. Like that's a problem. But the beauty of, or I guess the benefit or whatever you want to call it, the reality of being on this side is you can see reality and you view it very realistically. So I'm not sitting here saying that like, I don't think our team is going to go into Georgia scared or feeling like they shouldn't win or anything like that. But hey, we can do things that we're already talking about Georgia. This team better not be looking ahead to Georgia. They better not be. So we have a very much different vantage point as fans. Someone like myself doing what I do, we have a different vantage point than the football. The football team will go in expecting to win. I do not doubt that. Shane Beamer will have us ready to play. But the beauty of what we do as fans and what I do is we can look at it through a different lens and see the game for what it is. I mean, if I've met Carolina fans. They bet on Carolina every week, and I'm like, I guess you can do that because you're a Garnet Glasses fan, but you ain't gonna win a lot of money. I mean, you're just, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, it's this football team will be ready to go. They'll be prepared. They'll expect to win. I'll leave it at that. They will expect to win the game, and I will be very realistic in how I feel about the game, and we can argue about it till we're blue in the face next week. So,
right. Oh, Chris, I had one more question before I got the line.
Yeah.
Do you think our schedule will ever get weaker? Because I feel like it's gonna be hard for us
I mean, you're never gonna have a quote unquote weak schedule in the SEC, but the schedule is a lot more favorable this year. You got to admit.
Right.
I mean, we're like 22nd in strength of schedule, which is a massive improvement from the past couple of years. So, I mean, will it ever be Clemson level easy? No. The conference is too good. No, it will never be easy. But if you want easy, I guess don't come to South Carolina or just don't go play in the SEC because it ain't easy for anybody. So,
Right. All right, Chris, appreciate you, man.
yeah, appreciate it, Paris. Appreciate you calling in. Great stuff, guys. Like I said, phone lines are ringing off the hook. I actually missed a call, so if you want to call back in, be my guest. We got a couple texts. One that says, I don't know about you, but I cringe every time Lloyd runs the ball. I guess I'm scared from the Lattimore injuries. I thought he looked good Saturday. I think he's fully healthy, 110%. Going to be good to go all season. Another text here from Corey. Says, hey, Chris, one part of Saturday's game no one's talking about. Third down success. Carolina was 7 of 14, which is honestly not good at all. No, we converted a lot on fourth down. When we play in the SEC, that 50% is going to have to go up and be more successful. Third downs are key. Stopping them and getting them, very key. We got a call here. Let's go. Rob, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Just hanging out. What's going on?
All right. Well, you know me, long-time listener. Normally I don't call. I just pop it up in the chat. From watching the ECU game first week, from watching Carolina's game this week and everything, I mean, take Garnett glasses off. You know, you said it yourself, we should be. I'm taking Carolina by 14. And me saying that, you know, being a diehard Gamecocks fan, I seriously think that Beamer is going to have this team ready. He's already nitpicking on all the deficiencies. His press conference talking about going back and fixing dumb mistakes, hitting it hard. I mean, I really don't see Coach Beamer not having this team locked in for ECU.
Yeah, I think they'll be locked in. I think we'll be ready to play, no question. I mean, you say Gamecocks by 14. The key to the game, not to get ahead of myself, but the key to the game is the line of scrimmage. I mean, obviously, look at week one. ECU got pushed around by Appalachian State. They gave up 6.4 yards per carry. Holton Ahlers, their quarterback, was running for his life. I mean, we have the athletes in the trenches to control the game. We really do. The question is, and the thing that you got to be sure you're good in the line of scrimmage, because I'm going to tell you right now, offensively for ECU, maybe saying they have the athletes on the outside to beat you is a little aggressive. They've got the athletes to give you problems. I'm going to say that right now. Like, if I had to, wide receivers versus DBs, the ECU wideouts versus the Gamecocks DBs, I don't think we have some huge advantage there. Like, I think ECU's actually got some pretty damn good athletes, some good pass catchers, because you look at the different levels of college football, like, the athletes are pretty good across the board. It's the line of scrimmage that's the biggest difference. That's where we should dominate this game. Truly, is in the trenches. As long as we do that, we'll control the football game, because Holton Ahlers will never be able to get into a groove, and he's a guy who's a little erratic. He'll make a mistake if you get in his face, and then offensively, I mean, the running game just goes without saying. I mean, if we do what we need to do up front, we're going to have a lot of success ground and pound. Kevin Harris is going to be back. I mean, it's going to be a fun day running the ball. Just as long as you do those things, don't turn it over. Don't do anything stupid like you mentioned. Yeah, I think Carolina should win the football game. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that totally. And, I mean, you got to look at it like this. You've got four running backs that are in each and every way pretty much different.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what you're throwing at them, I mean, Zaquandre White, you're going to put him in, swing passes and everything like that, like they did this week. I mean, ECU is going to have to game plan to defend that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I will be, and of course, the conversation's all around the quarterback. I mean, I think as long as Doty's 100%, I think he goes. I think he's the guy. Does Zeb Nolan play? I mean, I guess that's something, very, very interesting as well. We'll kind of see what happens under center. But, we've I don't know. Offensively, how do we match up against their defense? I feel great in the running game. I still just don't know in the passing game. You'd like to think, again, their DBs aren't, their defense as a whole last year just wasn't very good. Wasn't very good at all. So, we should be able to have some success. I mean, we should be able to have some success.
Well, here's an unpopular take for you. What do you think about Beamer possibly putting in what's the transfer quarterback's name again?
Jason Brown?
No, the GA, sorry.
Oh, Zeb Nolan.
Yeah. What do you think about him putting in Zeb Nolan just to throw the ECU offense off, and then putting in Doty to kind of, I guess, shake things up?
I think Shane Beamer will do whatever he has to do to win. I think he'll do whatever they got to do to win. So it's tough to say, man, if they're going to try to do anything like that. I'll tell you this though, in my opinion, I would be very surprised if the game plan is to play multiple quarterbacks. I'd be very surprised. Beamer doesn't come off to me as the guy that wants to, and I know we did it week 1, but we were crushing EIU. I from what I've picked up from his press conference and stuff, it doesn't sound like he's the guy that wants to run, a multiple quarterback system. But with that being said, they'll do whatever they got to do to score and win. I mean, bottom line. So if they feel getting multiple guys in there is what they need to do, then so be it. But I just feel if Luke Doty's 110%, they're going to hand him the keys and say, this is your team, this is your offense, let's go. Like, you were our guy. You're not going to lose your job because of injury. Let's go. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the game plan. So.
All right, Chris, it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the call.
No problem.
Good stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Like I said, guys, phone lines are ringing off the hook today, so I apologize if I have not gotten to your comments. Let's see if we can get to a few of these. Shane Beamer's press conference starting in about 8 minutes or so. We'll be tuned in to that. Here we got a text here. Dre Picasso. I think it's probably a first-time text, because I would definitely remember that name. Dre Picasso says, realistically speaking, I think we might pull off an upset this season. Last Saturday was a no-brainer, but as the season progresses, it'll definitely show us where we're improving, where we need to be most work at. Zeb definitely showed what type of player he is, but I got to say the O-line has to improve so Lloyd and Harris can make a play on the ground. Wide receiver position could definitely use more help so we can catch passes. I had nothing but the highest expectations for Beamer simply because he loves the school and the culture, which is another thing we need due to the pride of being a Carolina fan, being absent throughout the Muschamp era. All in all, I think we could possibly go back to the golden ages we had with Spurrier. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but at least we have someone that's in it for the love and not a paycheck. Well said, my friend. Phil says, Lord, please put your hands on Parrish in 2 weeks' time after the UGA game. Amen. Luke Boyd, what's your thoughts on the student section situation? Hopefully those in charge who are paid to make those decisions, hopefully they're smart enough to figure it out. I mean, it's just the fact that was even a storyline or an issue is pretty sad. Luke RJ, what'd you think of the music and video Saturday for getting the crowd hyped up? I heard they played Sandstorm way too early before the plays started, and the other songs are really old and not good. I thought it was fine, Luke. I don't want to be that guy, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I wish the crowd was a little better. I'll be totally honest with you. I wish the crowd was a little bit better. It sucked sitting on the home side, looking up and seeing like the east upper half empty. But, there are a lot of factors. I guess. So a lot of reasons for people not to be there. Roy Gwynn says, I think the secondary looked great considering, but O-line run blocking was sad. Dak Joyner disappointed. I'm a fan of his, but at some point he has to put up or shut up and sit down on the bench. Very harsh take, but a real one. I respect the hell out of it. Really quickly to what Parrish said. I love the confidence. I love the optimism. I love the glass half full approach. But yeah, let me just put it to you this way, guys. We'll spend all week talking about Georgia. We're going to spend all week talking about Georgia. Let's worry about ECU this week. Brendan M. in the TDC Questions channel. Again, guys, apologize for getting to your comments late. Calls have been ringing off the hook, obviously. Brendan M. says, Doty said in his presser today, quote, I'm still working my way back, but I'm definitely expecting to be 100% on Saturday. Boom. Love to hear it. Phil says, nice to hear all these fans who only pay attention to football are still alive. LOL. Parrish, put the joint down, my brother. That's coming from Phil, not from me. Brendan M., yay, 4 a.m. call time Saturday morning for the ECU game. Attaboy. Gotta love it, Brendan. Got about 5 minutes, guys, till Shane Beamer goes live for his presser. We will be tuned in right here, so stick around. We will be tuned in. Matt Bruno, was it me or did Kevin Harris not play? Why? Yeah, Kevin Harris did not play. Shane Beamer had said if he had to go, he could have gone, but obviously there was no reason for him to go playing against EIU. So no, he was not in the game. You were not mistaken. He did not play. I'm going to try to scroll back here and look at some questions. Mark Sharp said he was impressed with the overall tackling in the game as multiple missed tackles from the years past were not present in the game. We seem to be wrapping up on our tackles. It was a noticeable improvement in the area that stood out to me defensively. I agree. Hey, it felt good to see us tackle well. I don't even care who the opponent was. It felt good to see us tackle well. Let's see. Travis Ford says, we learned a lot on Saturday. He says, number 1, this staff gets plays in timely. Number 2, the passing game has potential. Number 3, the D is better than thought. Georgia should not be our benchmark this year. Win versus Kentucky, Tennessee, Mizzou. Fair enough. You think the passing game has potential? Potential is a scary word, right? Because that's all it is potential. That's all it is potential. Let's see. Yeah, we won't lose to Vandy. There's no way we'll lose to Vandy. I can guarantee you. That. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Jesse Jacobs says, man, what's up with Xavier Legette? Buried on the depth chart, I guess. I have no idea, my friend. No idea. Tyler Wee, thoughts on getting E.J. Jenkins involved this Saturday? He's a mismatch nightmare for whoever's in coverage. Yeah, sure, dude, if the matchup is there, they will use him. If the matchup's there, they will use him, no question. Let's see. Carolina Titan, if Cam stays healthy throughout the season, he could turn to that stud DB we've been looking for. Yeah, you were expecting him to be DB1. I'm expecting it as well. Jonathan Lee says, what's your pick on the score for the ECU game? That will drop later this week, Jonathan. Stay tuned. That will drop later this week. We got a long week to go, boys. Robbie Davis texts in, what's up, Chris? Hope you're doing well today. We do not need to take ECU lightly. It will take maybe another year before we start to see a very, very significant difference between the last regime and this regime. Go Cox, heck with that team in the upstate. Appreciate you, Robbie. Drew Taylor, have we ever had a backfield room like this before? Ever? Lattimore, Mike Davis, Brian Maddox. I'll tell you, it's been a while. It's been a while since we had one this good. Jonathan Lee, yes, Carolina Ale House this Saturday, Greenville, South Carolina. Carolina Ale House, Greenville, South Carolina. This weekend, watch party at the Carolina Ale House in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Guys, doors open at 11, kickoff at noon. Hope to see a bunch of Gamecocks out there, upstate Gamecocks out there this weekend. Very, very excited. Yours truly will be there. Downtown Greenville, South Carolina for the watch party. Watch party at Carolina Ale House. Yes, Shane Beamer's presser going live right now. We'll get it going here. Sorry about that. Hold up. Get to it.
It's a game day.
All right, we're live.
Sure
you guys should be able to hear
do
it.
A great job of that this week like we did last week, and so far so good. Made a big point of emphasis. We got to be better at penalties. Again, I talked about it on the teleconference or Sunday night. After watching it, was even worse than I thought. Just some of the during the play just looked undisciplined and the lining up all sides and whatnot. Can't have that from a penalty standpoint. We talk about playing smart football, and we didn't do a great job of that. We hit all of our goals. We go into each and every week about what we have to do to win the football game. We did that in everything Saturday night and did it really, really well, except the penalty part of it. So we've got to be a lot better there, or it'll cost us on Saturday in Greenville. Injury-wise, good shape. I have nothing really different than what we had talked about on Sunday night. Feel like we'll be as close to a full speed, ready to roll football team as we possibly can be from an injury standpoint when we get up to East Carolina Saturday, and certainly going to be a really, 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 really big challenge. Ton of respect for Mike Houston. You look at wherever he's been, he has won, and he has won at a high level. You can see East Carolina getting better each and every year since he's been there. You turn on the tape, and I see just a lot of really good football players as well. Dynamic running backs that are explosive. Some really talented receivers that we certainly have to be aware of and be able to control. The quarterback's a guy that I love watching him play. When I was at Georgia, we recruited him at Georgia. Went to his high school in Greenville multiple times, watching him work out and throw. And I believe it was the same year that we took Justin Fields, I think, at Georgia. But if we had taken 2 quarterbacks that year, he was going to be the second one that we tried to get. Or if Justin had not come to Georgia, Holton was going to be the quarterback that we were going full speed on. And obviously a hometown hero from growing up in Greenville and has had a fantastic career at East Carolina, and somebody I love watching him play. He is a weapon. He really is. I mean, he can run. He's got size. When he scrambles, he looks to throw. Their explosive play cut up is impressive. Defensively, you watch them, and it's a front seven that is big and physical and active. We didn't do a great job of handling movement on Saturday night by Eastern Illinois' front seven. So we've got to be a lot better at that on Saturday against these guys, because they're big and physical. They play really, really hard defensively. You watch their secondary, they're physical. They do a great job of trying to get the ball out and creating turnovers, and throw out the App State game. You watch that App State game, and I sit there and say to myself, one, App State's really good. Two, I sit there and say to myself, how in the heck did this game kind of get away from East Carolina? And it's penalties. I mean, they had a touchdown, got called back because of a penalty. They had a Hail Mary on the end of the first half. They converted on. They got overturned. They had another long run that would have had them first and goal, and I think the 4 or 5 yard line that got called back because of a penalty. So they had some critical penalties from their standpoint that cost them on Thursday night, I guess is what it was, against App State. But we're not, don't pay attention. The team that I expect to see Saturday is the one that beat SMU convincingly at the end of last season. The team that we expect to see Saturday, and I know we'll see, is the same one that has beaten the University of North Carolina 3 times since 2013. The same one that's beaten NC State 2 times since 2013. The same one that's beaten Virginia Tech 2 times since 2014. Torian Gray and I were on that 2014 team. We went up to Columbus, Ohio the Saturday night before, beat Ohio State. Virginia Tech did. Beat Ohio State. Ohio State ended up winning the national championship that year. And the very next week came back and lost to East Carolina at home. Look at 2018. East Carolina lost to North Carolina A&T the very first game of the season in 2018. Came back the very next week and beat the Tar Heels by 3 touchdowns in Greenville. So we know what we're walking into on Saturday, and if we don't, we're going to figure it out pretty quick. It'll be an awesome atmosphere. It's a place that I love going to play. I've been down there a bunch, either as growing up, my dad's son at Virginia Tech, and going down there and playing East Carolina. I went down there a couple times as a coach. Like I said, they take pride in their football, as they should. They've got great tradition. It's an unbelievable atmosphere. If you guys haven't been there, it'll be a treat. I've been to every stadium in the Big 12. I've been to every stadium in the ACC, and the atmosphere at East Carolina is a whole lot better than a lot of the places I went in those conferences. It'll be 50,000 strong. From what I've been told, it's the biggest home game in the history of their program. SEC team coming. We know it'll be a hostile environment. We've got to have a great week of preparation to go play well, because it's a big, big challenge. And that's not just coach speak. This is a really good football team that we're playing, and we're going into a hostile atmosphere, and we know that we're going to see their very best. And as a competitor, that's what we want. We want them to be at their very best, and we want to go into opposing team stadiums, and we're excited about the opportunity to go play a good football team that I know they've had this game circled on their calendar for a long time. So we're excited. Again, had a good practice this morning. Need to put a few more together this week, and then be ready to go play well on Saturday. So with that, I'll be glad. Oh, before I say anything else, too, I just want to thank our fans again for the amazing atmosphere in our stadium on Saturday night. We talk about hostile environments. We talk about great environments and great places with great energy. That out there Saturday night, starting with the walk, was as good as anything. That walk was as good as anything I've seen, and just the environment from start to finish. We appreciate them, and I know there's going to be a lot of purple in that stadium on Saturday, but I know we're going to have a ton of garnet and black, and I cannot wait to see the garnet and black in that stadium on Saturday afternoon. We appreciate their support last week and look forward to seeing them in Greenville this week. Now, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
You mentioned that penalties was the only goal that y'all didn't hit, the only benchmark that y'all didn't hit in the first game. What are some of those other benchmarks? How many of those goals do y'all have that y'all want to hit each week?
The offense, defense, special teams, they all kind of have like their ones that they talk about, specifically for us as a football team. It's stop the run and run the football. It's win the explosive play battle. It's play smart football. It's dominate the fourth quarter, and so that's it. Dominate the fourth quarter, which we won the fourth quarter. Play smart football, which that's penalties, that's mental errors, all that stuff. It's win the explosive play battle. It's protect the football from a turnover standpoint, and then explosive plays, runs over 12, passes over 18. So we want to be better than our opponent. We did all that the other night. We just smart football. We had too many penalties, and then mentally we were good. It was the penalty part of it that is the smart football that we got to be better at.
Shane, after you've, cut up the running film a little bit more, just was there one overall issue for the struggles in the first half? And then on part of that, how much will the return of Kevin Harris help with that, assuming he is going to play Saturday?
Yeah, he'll play. He looked good out there today. It'll help. It's another back in the room, and that's nothing against Juju and Marshawn and Zaquandre because they were awesome the other night. And we named Zaquandre. I told you guys Sunday night he was our offensive player of the game and was every bit deserving of that. So Kevin will have a role on Saturday, but it's not like all of a sudden Kevin Harris is back and those guys are just kicked to the curb. There's some dynamic running backs in that room, Kevin included, and competition's a core value of this program, and we're competing at every position. But certainly it helps to be able to add a guy of Kevin's ability to the room without a doubt. And I wouldn't say there's one issue. It's easy, whenever you're not running the ball as successfully as you like, it's easy to always point at the offensive line. Well, part of it's the offensive line, part of it is the tight ends, part of it is the wide receivers and perimeter blocking, part of it is maybe the quarterback not having us in the right place. So part of it is the running back bouncing a ball when he should hit it up inside or vice versa. So it's a combination of everybody that has a hand in the run game. Eastern Illinois did a good job of bringing pressure and moving their guys up front, which that's kind of East Carolina's MO as well. So we better be able to handle it because we put it on tape early on that we didn't do a great job of handling it early on, and we've got to have a great plan this week to go execute against these guys.
Shane, I know on Sunday you said that you weren't going to get into the specifics about the quarterback situation, but with that being said,
I told Steve it would be 8 seconds before we got to that question. So we're like 3 questions in 10 minutes. Y'all are slacking.
Well, I'm trying to get creative with how I'm going to ask this. With that being said about quarterback, but it could be any position. Could be about running back, could be about defensive back. When you're evaluating who's going to play, who's going to start at those positions, how much stock do you put into the previous week, and how much stock do you know guys that did not play last week because of injuries or for other reasons? How do you try to figure that out and determine how much maybe practice also plays a role?
Yeah, I see. You kind of like backdoor me, Jedi mind trick type question there, right there. I see. No, it does. We evaluate everything, Mike, and it's a great question. It really is. We look at what guys have done previously. We look at practice. I think look at last week. I think Darius Rush and Cam Smith's a great example. Cam was the starter at corner. He got hurt. Darius went through the entire preseason basically when Cam got hurt. And Darius Rush was the starter. Darius started the other night. I think Cam was in pretty early. They didn't have to play a whole lot of plays on defense, but that's one. Now that's not to say that that's going to be the same scenario with the situation that you're referring to and that everybody wants to know about. But we certainly look at what you've done in games, what you've done in practice, what you've done in previously. But at the end of the day, it's what gives us the best chance to win this Saturday, not next week, not in October. What gives us the best chance to, in this situation, beat East Carolina on Saturday. And, we're always upfront and honest with our guys about where they are and what we're thinking and why we're doing the things. There shouldn't be any, secrecy or uncertainty about what we're doing. We try and be honest and open and communicate with guys all along.
Shane, I know, obviously, like Mike said, I know we're not getting into the starters, but when you look at Luke and his progression, what is it that you need to see from him, just period, to see that he's full go, ready to go play a game, maybe in the next 3 days or however long it takes? What are the things that you look for to see that he's, good to run out there on a Saturday?
For me, it's can he run out there? I mean, Luke can throw the football, don't get me wrong, but Luke's a weapon with his feet as well. And if a guy's, East Carolina, you guys are going to see on Saturday, they can fly on defense. One thing they can do is they can run. And we don't need anybody out there that can't get themselves out of trouble and run around and move, for one. And then two, I think just the tempo, the crispness that you need to be at that position. He practiced today. He did more today than he has in the past, but there's a difference in being out there and throwing routes to the receivers without a defense and going out there and doing it against 11 guys in front of 50,000 on Saturday. So it's just the timing, all that stuff. I've got to be able to see that he can operate at a high level, which I have no doubt, he'll be able to when he's ready, and get himself out of trouble and run when he's ready as well. But, he was out there in football, uniform today and wasn't wearing the boot, obviously. He was out there. And like I think he just told you guys, he fully expects to be 100% on Saturday, and we feel the same way.
And just on Luke, I know it seems like he's been really upbeat just throughout this whole thing. How did he take to being on the sideline Saturday, and how have you seen him now come back this week as he's, really trying to get back for Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a competitor. I wish we had 100 Luke Doties. I love everything that young man's about. He was great on the sideline. Supportive of Zeb in the game. He was with us at the hotel on Friday night, and obviously you saw him in uniform and was good on the sidelines from what I could tell between series and things like that. And then coming in here on Sunday, Luke's been the same. Even when he first got hurt, it wasn't like he came in here and it was feeling sorry for ourselves and moping around. He had a great energy and spirit about himself from the day after he got hurt and until now. So he's as eager as anybody to get out there because he's such a competitor.
Shane, how has Kevin handled his rehab and his just staying in the moment and not wanting to get too frustrated? He's a 1,000-yard rusher in the SEC.
Yeah, he's it would be easy to get frustrated because he loves to play and he wants to be out there. So I'd be lying to you if I told you it's been easy on him, because it hasn't been. I know it's been tough because he wanted to be out there during all 15 spring practices and be full speed. He wanted to be out there during preseason camp and be full speed. He wanted to play Saturday night for sure, but the way that he's attacked the rehab, the way that he's tried to get healthy, because certainly this summer you think everything's moving along, and then he's got to have that surgical procedure like we talked about, and that could be seen as a setback. But he and I have talked all along that these things are just helping you become an even better player in 2021 than what you were in 2020. Let's get you where your body feels better than it ever has and go play. And I think that's been his mindset all along. And he had a big smile on his face out there today at practice, and it was good to see him out there in full pads and running the football like we know he can.
Shane, do you guys have a plan to manage Kevin's workload on Saturday?
Yeah, good question. We haven't talked about it. It's actually on my, as soon as I walk out of here and I walk in there with the offensive staff, it's on my to-do list, one of the things that we need to discuss in that meeting, because we first of all, we haven't been told any kind of limit on his workload, first of all. So there's not an issue on how many plays he could play. He could play 70 plays if we needed him to. Now he's got to be in cardio shape and all that, which I have no doubt that he will be. But part of the thing that we want to talk about is certainly, how we're going to handle these running backs and what we're thinking, rep wise and rotation wise as we go throughout the week. Rashad Amos was out last week and has been battling a little bit of a hamstring and wasn't 100%. Rashad's back if we needed him. So I feel like we got the three that played last week, plus now Kevin coming back, and then potentially Rashad as well. And a lot of it, like I told you all out before, is personnel specific and play specific who's in the game. So they'll all have roles on Saturday, but we need to make sure that we're kind of honed in on how we're repping those guys and rotating those guys through.
Yeah, and to follow up on that real quick, you guys have known what this running back room was going to look like since you got here. So to finally have it full go, ready for a game, just from an enthusiasm and excitement standpoint, I mean, how excited does it make you guys?
Excited, and I think they're excited. I was in with Coach Satt and the quarterbacks this morning in the quarterback meeting, and Coach Hardesty and the running backs, they're in the next room over, and it sounded like a frat party in there a couple times today. I mean, there was just laughing and a lot of energy and excitement. So they're all great young men. They love to play. Zaquandre, I mean, he is like the hype man, in Greenville today. Come on, Fink. So, I'm sorry. What was I answering? I've totally lost my focus now. The fire emergency. Yeah, they're excited. I'm excited. That's what coming in here. I watched enough South Carolina games last year to know that you got a pretty good back in Kevin Harris. I knew about Marshawn and recruiting. Have seen Zaquandre since I got here. Saw Juju the way that he ran around all preseason. So to have all those guys healthy is exciting. You can't have too many backs, that's for sure.
Since a lot of people got excited about it last week, what's your uniform report for this week?
So that's going to be like a weekly thing, huh? Right now, it looks like we're probably going to be all white this week. So we're still working through some things. So I don't know if that's 100% yet, but I think that's the way we're trending right now. Yep, great question. That might need to be in like the media, like the release each week, the game notes.
All right. Hey, Coach, just talk to us about Cam Smith had a pretty good game. He was recovering from an injury, and he came back, looked like better than ever. How impressed were you with him? And then also Debo Williams was named co-freshman of the week. How proud are you of Debo that he got that honor?
Both of them. First of all, Cam was awesome. He, from the time and I said it before, from the time he got hurt, the way that he attacked his rehab, getting well, to be able to get back out there and play as many plays as he did and play physical, that was awesome to see. I mean, he really, really, really looked impressive Saturday night, I thought. Excited about his ability and what this season's going to look like for him. And then same thing for Debo. I mean, he's a guy that is continuing to get better at linebacker. He's a little bit behind some older guys at that position right now, and Staley and Sherrod and Brad, but a guy that we have a lot of excitement for, that's really passionate and physical and plays hard on special teams, obviously. So what a cool start for him to be named SEC Freshman of the week. Is that correct? SEC Freshman of the week. That's awesome, and best is still to come for him.
Shane, any increased focus on maybe looking at Jordan Burch on a couple of offensive packages?
Probably from Satterfield's standpoint, absolutely. I'm sure he would. No, he's right where he needs to be. We got a good group of tight ends, but like I said, whenever it was Saturday or Sunday, you never know. I mean, we want to get our best players on the field. I mean, the reaction on that sideline Saturday night when he caught that ball, and I mean, he looked like a runaway train going down the field right there. I mean, Adkins on the side, our offensive line coach Greg Atkins, he came up to me, he was like, "Oh my God!" And Mike Peterson, I mean, it was a wow moment for sure, because he was getting faster as he got closer to the end zone, and certainly it's fun watching him cover kicks. It's fun watching him on our punt return team. It's fun watching him play defense, and right now we're trying to make him the very best defensive player he can be, but it certainly would be fun watching him on offense as well, without a doubt.
And swinging it back to uniforms, no headgear for you on the sideline?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Saturday night? Nah, I didn't. I don't know. Honestly, I think I stopped wearing a hat at Oklahoma last year, and maybe it's just superstition. I really didn't think about it. I didn't wear a hat at Oklahoma after, I don't know. We were on a winning streak at Oklahoma. I didn't wear a hat, so I just kind of kept it going. I don't know. I had plenty of choices. I thought about it. I usually wear it at practice, but I was so busy pregame trying to make sure we could get 11 guys out there for the opening kickoff and things like that I didn't even think about the hat. So more important things to worry about.
Hey, Shane, after the game Saturday night, you said one of the things you've been thinking about leading up to the game, making sure you made all the right decisions. What was the easiest decision you had to make Saturday night? What was the toughest decision? And if you had to get a mulligan on one of your decisions, what would that be?
Ooh, good question, Rick. Easiest decision. Easiest decision. That's a good question. I don't know that. I think through them all from that standpoint. Probably the coin toss. As far as what we were going to do. And I don't mean that funny. Like what we were going to do if we won the toss. Here's what we're doing. If they win the toss and we get to choose which end we want to go to, we knew we wanted to. What it was? I guess they won the toss and took the ball, or they deferred and we received. Is that what it was? I think that's what it was. And received. So they kind of made it easy on us. Probably that one, just coin toss, kind of what I wanted to do to start the game. Toughest decision, man. We talked a lot before the game about the extra point, what we were going to do on the first one if we wanted to do that, muddle huddle 2-point conversion thing that we did. So thought a while about that. It wasn't a tough decision, but that was probably one we spent time on. And then, like, we talked to our players about it from a situational standpoint. We thought we did a pretty good job, knock on wood, of just situational football. We used that timeout right at the end of the first half. We got a stop. I think we blocked that punt or partially blocked it, and then we were able to go down the field, execute somewhat of a 2-minute drive to get it in the end zone. But at that point, I think it was 22-0 or something. You could say, okay, let the clock go out and not use that timeout. We used that timeout, kind of like that one. And then mulligan. Probably would have offered my dad a sideline pass. I don't think I ever did. Not that he wanted to come down there, but he was up with my wife, probably where he wanted to be anyway with the grandkids, but probably should have told him, hey, if you want to come down on the sideline, I got a pass for you. But when you win 46-0, there's not too many hard decisions during that time. I know they're coming, but like I've talked about before, just trying to spend as much time watching other games or studying games throughout the week when I have some downtime, putting myself in those situations, how I would make certain decisions, handling the clock, when to use timeouts, things like that. So after every game, Rick, we go back and look at things we did well, things we didn't do well, maybe some preparation errors we made during the week in practice that we made a mistake on. Personnel errors with our players versus their guys, a matchup that we liked that turned out to be something we didn't like. We always, review that stuff. And then we also look back at the decisions that were made during the game that I make as the head coach and percentage-wise, was that the right call and things like that. And I think most of them came back this week that they were the right call. So hopefully I'm telling you the same thing next week if you ask that question too, that we were good on those calls.
Okay, one more thing. Your first road trip now is USC's head football coach. What's your schedule like on Fridays? Stadium walkthrough, meetings, a movie, and also game day on Saturday.
Yeah. We try and make our Fridays at home the same as the Fridays away, so it'll be the exact same schedule. We'll do everything here on Friday and then head up to Greenville Friday afternoon. So the only difference in the schedule from a home game Friday to an away game Friday is the fact that we get on a bus or a plane and go somewhere else. We won't do a walkthrough at the stadium up there. It's all here. I think we get to the hotel in Greenville Friday around like 5 or 5:30 in the afternoon, eat dinner and have our meetings at the hotel that night. We don't do a movie. And then Saturday, it's with it being an early kickoff. I think we got, our guys are up at 7, have a quick meeting at 7:30, eat at 8, and leave for the stadium around 10. So it'll be pretty, we go fast once we wake up on Saturday morning. But I'm a routine guy, and I don't want away to be a lot different than home. I don't want night game schedule to be a whole lot different than day game schedule if we can help it. Like it's obviously going to be. We're playing 7 hours earlier than what we did last week. But as far as the bulk of what we do on Friday night, and Saturday, I want to keep it as similar as I can each week.
Shane, you just explained how proud you are of Debo, and obviously people talk about special teams with you and your family, but to be able to go out there and see the way that the players have bought into it, and that was something that Brad Johnson just mentioned a little while ago. He said he can see the younger guys buying into it. They understand, being able to get to that next level, playing the NFL, the importance of it. How exciting is that to see that culture already, happening here? Because I think naturally people just assume, hey, the Beamer name, that just comes with it, but it's probably not as easy as it is made out to sound.
No, it's not. And we got work to do. I mean, we talked about the penalties that we got to get cleaned up, and there's a lot from the other night. I mean, we blocked 2 punts. Looking back at the video, if we execute right, we probably should have blocked 4, just to be totally honest. I mean, if a guy was lined up wrong twice or was laid off the ball, and if he's just where he's supposed to be, we're probably going to block 2 other punts as well. So we've got to get that corrected. There's a lot of good from last week, but we're certainly not walking around patting everybody on the back this week about how great we were and understanding that what we have to get done this week. But to see us make it, it's always exciting as a coach to see guys have success, especially on special teams, on something that you've worked on. And they were excited on Saturday night when they blocked those punts. They were excited. We made a big deal in our team meeting on Sunday. If you watch our first punt, I mean, Darius Rush is our gunner and just runs right down the field, right past their defensive back, and is down there in the returner's face when he catches the ball, and seeing the speed that Darius ran with. I mean, we really try and celebrate those moments, and it's great to see when they have success on the field, because as much as I love special teams, as much as you love special teams, Debo probably didn't come here to be the right tackle on the punt team. I get it, Alshon Jeffrey didn't come here to be on the punt pressure team. They don't have visions, the highly recruited guys, of playing special teams, but we've made a big deal about it. All of the coaches do a great job in practice of just creating energy and creating competition during those special teams periods. And Coach Limbo and Stanton Weber and the whole staff do a great job of organizing it and whatnot. And we got a ways to go, but certainly Saturday night was a good start. And especially when they see how it affects winning football games, how we play complementary football. You block a punt, the field position it gives your offense. You cover a punt, the field position it gives your defense, and whatnot. And we were aggressive Saturday night, and we certainly want to continue to be aggressive as a football team from a special team standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, from a offensive standpoint, whether it's throwing the ball downfield or going for it on 4th down, and having that mentality.
Shane, obviously your first game as head coach. Did you, in the aftermath, break down all the things you did individually in your own head and say, it was good here, maybe I need to tweak it here? I mean, how did you feel coming out of that?
Yeah, pretty good. Kind of following up with what Rick said, to always go back the decisions that I make, during the game. Always go back and evaluate those from that standpoint for sure. If I knew we were going for it on 4th down, did I tell Marcus Satterfield early enough, hey, you got 2 downs here, so he knows on 3rd down we may be going for it on 4th down? Did I do a good enough job of that? Probably the biggest thing, and to answer your question, Rick, do-over, it really wasn't much during the game, but it was a lot of just the organization of the hotel, pregame warm-ups, things. There's a lot of things that my mom was going a million miles an hour when you're focused on the game. But, I mean, there's a million notes that I was writing on Saturday night, either before the game or some during the game, of just things that we've got to be better at as a staff, whether it be sideline organization and getting the right play in, or if it's 4th down And maybe it's the field goal block team is going out there. Maybe it's our defense is staying on the field because they're going for it, or maybe they're punting the football and we got to put our punt return team out there. The communication of that at the hotel, not change, but just tweaking things like meeting time wise. Okay, we allotted 20 minutes for this meeting, but both coordinators finished 10 minutes early, or maybe we need a little bit more time for this. Just trying to do a better job of the organizational standpoint. And so that's one thing that I look back on and said that I could be better at. Spent a lot of time putting together the schedule, but then when you actually go through it and you see how things flow, certainly some things that we can be better at from an organizational standpoint. And then we get a lot of input from our guys too. I mean, we have a group of players that I'll rely on a lot. And hey, what'd you think about the meeting schedule Saturday? Hey, how'd you think about how we did meetings on Friday night? Because I want their feedback and input as well. Whatever it is, what we wear, what we wear at the hotel, to how we're dressed for Gamecock Walk. I want them to have some ownership in it too.
I think on Sunday night you gave us 3 special team players of the week. How do you decide who gets the parking spot out there for the special teamer of the week? And is that something that you brought in or Pete brought?
That is actually a heck of a question. I don't know. The parking spot, because I hadn't thought about that. That there's another one right there, Pete, that I got to write down a note. So we have a parking spot for one person. I guess that was here last year, I think. Maybe. Okay. I think it was, because I didn't say let's have a parking spot on that one, and Pete may have. Pete coming in here had the 3 of the week, the 3 separate guys from attacking, enforcing, all that stuff, protector, enforcer, all that. That was Coach Limbo. But that is a question. Now I've got something else to talk about in our 4 p.m. staff meeting. Who gets the parking spot when we just named 3 guys the player of the game? So I don't know. So there's a rookie mistake right there that we haven't talked about that situation either. They haven't asked me yet, so clearly they've figured it out because they haven't asked me about it, but that is one thing. But Coach Limbo had the 3 separate award winners. The parking spot, that was not me. I wish I could say it was. I love the idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. I approved it once they came to me, but I didn't realize, not really sure who that came from. And either way, to have 3 guys that we can find each week that are doing a great job on special teams, that's great, and only continues to add to the culture that we're trying to put together here and build. Thank you, Coach. All good. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a good week.
Sorry, we were muted there. Anyways, that is Shane Beamer. I see Luke RJ complaining in the comments, saying he can watch the interviews later. I'll ask you guys, if you don't want to watch the Shane Beamer pressers anymore, we don't have to. I just figured it's something we enjoy tuning in, hearing what Coach has to say. I enjoy tuning in personally. I enjoy tuning in, but you guys let me know if you don't want to tune in, if we don't want to tune into the Beamer pressers anymore. Y'all let me know. Whatever. We can do whatever y'all want to do. It's all good. So I don't think Luke's a big fan, and also Luke, I would say listening to callers, I mean, hey, phone lines are ringing off the hook, and that is a positive for the Daily Crow. But overall, again, Shane Beamer, liked what he had to say. Pretty standard stuff. I think Shane Beamer, listening to him, and again, you can argue, I guess, that it's coach speak, if you will. Whatever. I think Shane Beamer understands that this weekend's a challenge. I think he understands it as a test. And, I think he gets it. I think he gets it. The ECU is a team that's going to give us a run for our money. And he mentioned the atmosphere, too. He mentioned the atmosphere and sort of what you'll be walking into. And he said, if you don't understand right now what we're walking into, you will understand. You will understand. So anyways, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Today has been incredible. You guys have been awesome, engaging, interactive. I thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for the calls as well, man. It makes it a ton of fun for yours truly. But taking your questions, comments, calls for the last 10 minutes or so. Let's see. Carolina Titan says, Beamer knows the time for talk is over. Yeah, I agree with you. People last week talked about Shane Beamer, he doesn't seem quite as upbeat and is whatever excited. I'm like, I think he's just locked in. Like it's football time. Talking season's over. It's about playing well, executing, winning games. And I think that he understands that. So I think he understands the challenge they've got in front of him. If you don't go play good football this weekend, you're going to get beat. You're going to get beat, bottom line. If you don't play good football this weekend, you are going to get beat. So again, 843-790-3377, guys, 843-790-3377, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. Ritter says, Panic Ritter is worried about this game. Ritter, hit the panic button, Ritter. Ritter says he's worried about this game. The ECU quarterback is good. Holton Ahlers is a good player. Hey, and we talked about it. If you have a quarterback, you have a chance. And certainly, I'm not saying Holton Ahlers is a great player. I'm not saying that at all, but he's solid. He's a guy who can give you problems. He's a guy that can make plays. He's a guy that they feel confident in. So you have a quarterback, you have a chance. Absolutely. So will be interesting to see how the Gamecocks defense handles that. And yeah, Austin Greer says more concern for our DBs or wide receivers against ECU. And I agree with you. Like I said, man, you're going to be leaning on your defensive line, just as we talked about all preseason long. And as we talked about today, you're going to be leaning on your defensive line. There's no question. You got to get pressure on the quarterback, because if you don't, I really do believe, guys, ECU has athletes. They've got athletes on the outside. They've got a really good running back from the state of South Carolina, guys, who said this was the game he was most looking forward to this football season. So they've got good players. There's no question. They've got some athletes on the outside. So let's see, 843-790-3377. Guys, a quick reminder, episode 491 of the podcast did drop this morning. Alex McGrath and I talking everything from the Gamecocks 46-0 win over the weekend against EIU, as well as we did look ahead. Hey, we talked Vegas spread even. I got Alex's thoughts on ECU being a favorite in the game. I think the game now is at a pick'em, which, yeah, it is. It's all right. Let's see. Actually, is this live updating on this website? Here, let's refresh this real quick. Let's see. Let's refresh this. Where'd it go? Okay, ECU is a 1-point favorite via Circa Sports. 1-point favorite as of right now. Over-under is set at 58. Over-under 58. ECU a 1-point favorite in the ball game. So we talked about that even. Why is ECU a favorite? Alex gave his full thoughts and everything else about the Vegas line, which if you're into that, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy that part of the conversation. But we also talk about the game itself, what it means for South Carolina, just how big of a game is it for Shane Beamer and this 2021 football team specifically. Again, guys, I'm very hesitant to call it a must-win. I mean, it's the second game of the Shane Beamer era, but for the 2021 Gamecocks, for specifically this team and the goals you have this season, it is a very, very, very important ball game. There is no question. It's a very important ball game. Hey, if you lose week 2, you can't say, take a conclusion about the rest of the season because you lose week 2. But it is going to be much, 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 much harder to get to a bowl game if you don't take out East Carolina. It is. So, very, very pivotal game for the Gamecocks. Check out episode 491. 491, Alex McGrath and I. Tomorrow's podcast, of course, guys, we'll talk gambling picks. Of course, my brief takeaways from Shane Beamer's presser. Again, I don't think there's a lot to pull from that. He did say Kevin Harris is a good to go. He will play on Saturday, which is obviously a very, very big positive for this football team. I think he'll help immensely in the run game. Other than that, I mean, I think pretty much just typical coach speak. Nothing crazy coming out of that press conference, if you will. But very excited for this Saturday. Also on tomorrow's podcast, of course, we'll talk gambling, SEC gambling picks, which, by the way, guys, shameless plug, SEC gambling picks went 12-2. 12-2 this weekend. Incredible first weekend, as well as the best bet hitting for South Carolina, which was minus 42.5, and the Gamecocks won by 46. So really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Podcast, Daily Crow, rolling all week. Daddy-O says, short week, less than 4 days to kick. Short week for some of you. You know, it's funny. I had people asking me yesterday if I was going to take yesterday off, and I appreciate that the fans of this show and the fans of TSUS and those who support with and rock the content, you guys would have been cool, I guess, if I took the day off. But I just looked at it this way. I was like, I did not wait 3.5 months for football season to take off the first Monday after a game. Like, those Mondays are very fun. Those Mondays are very fun and very enjoyable, and it's very fun, like, having a reaction Monday with you all. So anyways, yes, a short week technically. Counting down the days kicked, though. Going to be a good time. Going to be a really, really good time. Let's see. Luke Boyd, will you be going to any away games this year? Luke, no, I will not. Again, we have partnered with Carolina Ale House for the 2021 football season. We'll be throwing watch parties for each and every single road game for the Gamecock season. Again, guys, just one of those things. It was a great opportunity, a great partnership with Carolina Ale House. We're going to be all over the state, and a great opportunity to hang out with Gamecocks all over the state of South Carolina and watch the Gamecocks with you all. So again, this Saturday, we will be at the Carolina Ale House location in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Not Greenville, North Carolina. Greenville, South Carolina. We'll be downtown. Really excited. Doors will open at 11. Kickoff is at noon. Next Saturday, we'll be at the Carolina Ale House location in Harbison, right here in Columbia. So if you're local to Columbia, we'll be out there at Harbison. Of course, doors will open, probably 11 a.m. And, we'll be out there all day long just watching football, hanging out, chilling, whatever. Going to be a really, really good time. But again, this Saturday, downtown Greenville, South Carolina, if you are in the upstate, would love to have you. Going to be a really good time. And like I said, when we partnered up with them, I was really passionate about giving back to the upstate Gamecocks. You guys, I know in the upstate, you don't get a lot of love. There's not a ton of Gamecock offerings. You have to deal with the orange and purple up there. I was like, you know what? Let's go up to the upstate and let's show some love to those upstate Gamecocks because they're Gamecocks just the same. So really, really excited to get up there, be up there with you guys, and hopefully watch the Gamecocks pull out a big W over ECU. Clone Phil here. He says, everything goes back to focus. We have no business overlooking anyone. Stay focused, motivated, humble, and hungry each week, and this team will get better week to week. I agree. Clone Phil with some wise words there. Very good stuff from Clone Phil. Nathan says, really need to win this game, and I think we will. Definitely. It's again, calling it a must win in week 2 feels just way too aggressive, but it is a can't lose in a way. It's a can't lose, at least for the prospects of this season. If you're going to make a bowl game, I don't see a scenario where you lose this game and you make a bowl game. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that task gets much, much, much tougher if you cannot take care of business against the Pirates on Saturday. Austin Greer, hope to see you there, Austin, unless you're going to be at ECU, whatever it might be. Guys, if you're going up there, be sure to enjoy yourselves. From everything I've heard, that is one hell of a road trip. I've heard it's a great time, so definitely if you're going, safe travels and have a good time. Going to be a lot of fun for sure. Daddy-O says, got to stay focused. We have not earned anything yet. It's a good way to look at it. Really good way to look at it, man. Again, it's one of those things, and what a daily crow today, guys. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in and the continuous love and support. And you guys continue to rock with the content, show love to everything we do. It's incredible, and the way you guys engage with the Daily Crow. I mean, you guys make the Daily Crow what it is. All of the calls today, phenomenal, awesome. Honestly, that was my hope for what the Daily Crow was going to be in season, that you guys would have the opportunity to call in, express your opinions, and have the back and forth banter. It's a ton of fun. So again, guys, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, guys. A quick reminder, by the way, tomorrow night, we'll be back at Tin Roof, 5 to 7. You may have noticed no guests tomorrow. I feel like the shows have been very, very heavily reliant on the guests, which are great, but the first Tin Roof show post-game and in the middle of game week leading to another game, I really want to use that time to take questions from the audience, to interact with you all even more so. We'll probably take some 5-minute breaks in that show at Tin Roof because, again, I'm not just going to go 2 straight hours like I did the first time. But that Tin Roof show going to be a ton of fun. 50-cent wings also, guys. $3 drafts. Going to be a really fun night. But again, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in. Another successful Tuesday in the books. Like I said, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 491. Stay tuned to all of the content, of course. Podcast, Daily Crow, rolling all week. You guys know the drill. Folks, have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll talk